Hello everyone and welcome to the Bible classroom. I'm Miss Kathy and I'm glad you're here. Would you like to help me feed Fred? Hi Fred! Here you go. Our memory verse for today is the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22 through 23. Let's say that together. You repeat after me. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22 through 23. I wonder if Sue wants to join us today for our Bible class. Let's find out. Sue! Oh, hi, Sue. Sue, we were about to do a Bible lesson. Would you like to join us? Before we get started though, Sue, do you know what this is? It's a seesaw, isn't it? You might see a seesaw on the playground. Well, a seesaw goes back and forth, and we're going to hear something about back and forth in our lesson today. In our last Bible class, we learned about how Joshua led God's chosen people, the Israelites, into the land God had promised to Abraham, the Promised Land, which was at this time called Canaan. God gave them the land by conquest, and led by Joshua, they had driven out most of the inhabitants of the land. Well, Joshua divided up the land to give it to the 12 tribes. That's each of Jacob's sons and their families. Each of those made up a tribe. Before Joshua died, he gave a charge to the people. Let's read about that in Joshua 23:6 through 8. Be very strong. Be careful to obey all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, without turning aside to the right or to the left. Do not associate with these nations that remain among you. Do not invoke the names of their gods or swear by them. You must not serve them or bow down to them, but you are to hold fast to the Lord your God, as you have done until now. So before he died, Joshua reminded the people that they were to worship God and not let the nations around them tempt them into worshiping the fake gods that they believed in. He told them to hold fast to the Lord their God as they had been doing, the God who rescued them from slavery in Egypt and who had helped them defeat and drive out the wicked nations in Canaan, now the Promised Land. Joshua also had a warning for the people. Let's read that in Joshua 23:11 through 13. Be very careful, therefore, to love the Lord your God, for if you turn back and cling to the remnant of these nations remaining among you and make marriages with them, so that you associate with them and they with you, know for certain that the Lord your God will no longer drive out these nations before you, but they shall be a snare and a trap for you, a whip on your sides and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good ground that the Lord your God has given you. Well, Sue, I have some good news and I have some bad news. And then I have some more good news and I have some more bad news. It's like a seesaw, back and forth. Let's hear the good news first. Judges 2:7 says, And the people served the Lord all the days of Joshua, and all the days of the elders who outlived Joshua, who had seen all the great work that the Lord had done for Israel. So while Joshua was alive, and all the people who were now older but had experienced firsthand God parting the sea and providing manna and producing water from a rock, stopping the Jordan River so they could cross, causing the walls of Jericho to fall flat, and giving them victory over their enemies, Well, when all those people who were around to remind them of what God had done, as long as they were living, the people worshiped the one true and only God. Now for the bad news. Judges 2, verses 10 through 15 tells us, all that generation also were gathered to their fathers, and there arose another generation after them, who did not know the Lord or the work that he had done for Israel. And the people of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord and served the Baals. And they abandoned the Lord, the God of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt. They went after other gods from among the gods of the peoples who were around them, and bowed down to them. And they provoked the Lord to anger. They abandoned the Lord and served the Baals and the Ashtaroth. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he gave them over to plunderers, who plundered them, and he sold them into the hand of their surrounding enemies, so that they could no longer withstand their enemies. Whenever they marched out, the hand of the Lord was against them for harm, as the Lord had warned, and as the Lord had sworn to them, and they were in terrible distress. Well, Sue, when you do wrong, do you get punished? Yes, good parents do that because they love us and they want us to learn to do what is right. In the same way, when the Israelites turned away from God to worship false gods, he allowed enemies to defeat them. God's punishment wasn't because he stopped loving them. It was because he wanted them to turn their hearts back to him. Even when they were choosing other fake gods and not him, God still loved the people that he had chosen and was merciful. Judges 2:16 says, Then the Lord raised up judges who saved them out of the hand of those who plundered them. Now, a biblical judge is not the same as what we think of a judge in a courtroom today. A judge then was a leader raised up by God to deliver Israel from their enemies, provide guidance, and call the people back to God. So God raised up judges to deliver Israel. While the judge lived, the people sometimes listened and turned back to God, but when the judge died, they quickly turned back to sin and idolatry. That means worshiping those fake gods. Often they turned back and were even worse than before. Israel followed a recurring pattern: sin, oppression, crying out, deliverance, temporary obedience, and then back into sin. The obedience was never wholehearted or enduring. So you see, it was like a seesaw. They would choose right and then wrong, and right and then wrong, over and over. During roughly 300 years from the death of Joshua until the rise of Saul and Israel's first kings, which we'll read about later, God raised up 14 judges in all: Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Deborah, Gideon, Tola, Jair, Jephthah, Ibzan, Elon, Abdon, Samson, and Eli, and Samuel. The period of the judges shows us that even though God's people sinned again and again, God was merciful and faithful. He punished them so that it would help them to turn back, but he never gave up on them. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Well, thank you for joining us today for our Bible class. Remember, Jesus loves you. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.